Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Miasma, and tonight I have a special video for you guys with a extra special guest. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. I talk with him every Sunday on the Sugoi Boys podcast. It's my good friend J Chip from the J Chip Show. How are you, sir?
Hello. Hello, I'm the extra special friend. Hello.
And how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. For those of you that don't know or haven't seen the Segoy Boys podcast before, the very few of you out there, um, J Chip has his own YouTube channel, and it's really cool. Go check out the J Chip Show and check out his Patreon as well. And he does reviews, like discussion videos, a lot of stuff similar to me. Um, but he was doing it first, so I'm totally copying him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
he's the original. I'm derivative.
Yeah.
Um, so I wanted to do a series. We on his channel we talked about an anime that is pretty close to both of our hearts at this point now, in Skryed. And I wanted to sort of reciprocate and talk about a series that I wanted to cover for a long time, and I've seen some of, but I never finished, and I wanted to restart it and make videos about it and actually talk about it with somebody. And there was no better option than Kara no Kyokai, or the Garden of Sinners. Now, if you know nothing about the Garden of Sinners, it's a series of up to now like 10 films.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Originally, it was seven, and then they have slowly over the years done a few more. But they aired originally from 2007 through 2013, and they're not they have various directors. However, they're within the same universe. Um, so it has like the same main cast of characters, although it is told not in chronological order. If you were to watch the movies as we're going to watch them, like 1 through 10, you may get a tad confused at times because like movie 4 I think is like technically the first one in the timeline.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
yeah, so the movie we're starting with tonight, if that didn't confuse you with enough, it is not the first one chronologically, but I would still argue that it's a fine one to start with. I don't think they really goofed anything up too hard with this weird order. And I mean, I'm a fan of stuff like Durarara and Bakano anyway, so I don't really give a shit about like chronological order of things.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it's
If
just
if you're
go ahead.
if you're a fan of Legend of Zelda, then and you know its timeline, it's kind of the same thing.
There you go. Look at that. A game reference that's going to be above my head because
Yeah.
I'm a lame person. But
All you need to know is that Zelda has a really fucked up timeline.
now I know that, and knowing's half the battle. Thanks, J Chip.
No
Uh,
problem.
so the first film so it came out in 2007, and it is Kara no Kyokai, or the Garden of Sinners, Overlooking View. And so basically, like on its surface, it is, as I was jokingly talking about it before we started recording, Tsundere Scooby Doo. And I say that. Would you say that's an alright description?
Yeah. I
Um,
I I'd take it a step further, and it's more anime Ghost Hunters.
okay. Yes, that's another. Okay, yep, that's a more mature way to look
Actually,
at it.
actually, I'd say it's more anime Ghost Adventures because Ghost Adventures is really cheesy as fuck.
Oh, okay. All right, I can see that. It's definitely much more violent than Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
um, it's essentially so it takes place in 1998 in Japan, and there is a series of mysterious suicides that are happening where teenage girls are jumping from this abandoned building, which is set to be demolished. And it's very odd because they're all using the same building, and there's no suicide notes, and and then they're all like near the same age. So it obviously like the regular police and your worldly municipalities, man, I can't even talk, out there they don't know what's going on. So in comes this team of paranormal investigators. You kind of have to. They don't really like outwardly say like we study ghosts and shit, but like you kind of piece together that hey, these guys study ghosts and shit. And so like our team here, you have Shiki and I think it's Toka is her name. Who's the
Yeah,
second
her
one?
name was Toka.
Toko. Toka
Toko.
is from Tokyo Ghoul. Toko. Toko is like the kind of seemingly like the leader of this group. And again, we're talking like I've seen some of these other films, so it's been a long time, and I'm strictly talking from the angle of you've never seen any of these before. So upon just starting this movie and seeing the like early scenes, it really pushes that Toko is the leader. She's this like probably like mid-30s redhead who smokes a lot, like a lot. And as
Yeah.
J-Chip noticed, she has a lot of TVs.
Yeah.
What did you think about her quantity of TVs?
I mean, at least she's never bored, but only one is on every time. And some of them were kind of cracked. So I don't know how well she's taking care of these TVs.
She's not. She's really not. She's just too busy smoking a lot. And
Yeah.
she has a lot of books, and she lives in this kind of like really messy house. And she is her team, her Genin unit here is her and this mysterious younger girl named Shiki. Now Shiki is very tsundere looking and acting, and she wears a kimono all the time, as well as this bright red jacket, which, as you pointed out when we were watching this, made her look like a certain holiday mascot.
Ho ho ho.
Yes, she has a sort of Santa Clausian jacket.
It's kind of a mix between, and here's another video game reference, but Squall Leonhardt and Santa Claus. I'll send you a picture of what Squall's jacket looks like.
Okay. So, and Shiki, like I said, she's pretty mysterious. She's super serious all the time. Really tsundere kind of thing. We get a glimpse into her relationship with. There's a third member here, although sort of. Because for a majority of the movie, he's not really here. His name's Mikia. And he's like a high school aged guy, maybe like early college or so. And for a good portion of the film, he's in this like catatonic state, or like he's asleep pretty much, just in the room where Toko is smoking and stuff. And you don't know why for like a lot of the film, and then you find out why, and I'm not going to say why. But that's Miki's role for a lot of this. Besides, at the beginning, we get this little flashback scene of him going to Shiki's apartment, who, by the way, would you like to talk about Shiki's decor at her household? Like, how would you describe her apartment?
Yeah, it's funny that you say decor, and I was going to say, what decor? Minus the fridge and a bed.
Yeah, she has a bed, a little fridge, and an answering machine.
Yeah.
And there's no table. The answering machine's on the floor, and she just drinks bottles of water out of the fridge. And then here comes Mikia, who apparently knows her from the past, and she like lets him in, and he has brought Haagen-Dazs ice cream. And I can't believe, yeah, and they actually have like the Haagen-Dazs logo, and it's like it's very good Japanese marketing for Haagen-Dazs, I suppose.
Yeah.
And he brings her ice cream, and Mikia in this flashback, because this is really all we see of him for most of the film, is he seems like this likable guy. He's really nice. We don't really know yet how he knows Shiki from the past, but he brings her ice cream, and he tells her, she's like, I don't want this. I'm a tsundere. I don't want this stuff from you. And she's like, I don't even like strawberry. And he's like, I got you strawberry because it reminds me of you. And she's like, what the hell do you mean? And he's like, oh, your red jacket. And I'm like, oh, that's a normal girl might find that sweet, but not Shiki, because tsundere. Let's see how many times I could say tsundere in this video.
Yeah, take a shot every time Miasma says surrender.
Okay. They would die. So that kind of establishes like what Mikio was like before going into this catatonic state, in which we don't know how that happened to him. But we do know that the rest of his crew are trying to resolve this. They're trying to figure out what's going to make him wake up, because it seems like it's some kind of supernatural occurrence. And meanwhile, these weird suicides are going on, and Toko puts two and two together and starts to suspect that maybe they're connected. And she sends our girl Shiki to go investigate, and Shiki digs into the mystery that is surrounding this abandoned building and these suicidal teenage girls. And I don't want to say what the mystery really is, but it wraps up pretty well. It's got its twists and turns in there. It's got its cool action scenes.
Yeah.
It's not like your standard like mystery where you're just sitting there like, this isn't Blue's Clues. They're not looking for clues. There's blood and shit, and there's fighting, and there's people jumping off of roofs. But
and there's really good animation along with that.
I was gonna get to that. Yeah. So aesthetically, this is, especially for 2007. And this is also done by Ufotable, who is also famous for the Fate series, and as Fate fans will tell you, they're pretty good at drawing things. Especially stuff with gradients. So, especially for 2007, I will say this, and every Fate fan can hold this against me forever. It is one of the better looking anime I've ever seen.
Yeah, it still holds up.
Yes, it's gorgeous. And it's a film, so I mean, you could argue that it had a film budget, but still, we're talking 2007 here. I don't think that they were in a pile of money by this point, but it's still really good. Tell me, what did you want to give some thoughts about? What did you think about the animation, or what did you it was Ufotable going in, so. How are you on them typically as a studio?
They're I've never been a big fan of the Fate series, but I will always say that Aluminum Blade Works and Fate Zero look really, really good. Mm-hmm. And this movie is no exception. I think this movie looks better than both of them combined. And yeah, it's honestly I'm really looking forward to the next movie to see how they can up the ante.
Yes. And it looks really good. It also sounds really good. The Yuki Kajira did the score, the music for this, and it is even I almost hate to say something is better than the animation of the film, but I think the music and even just this struck me. I mentioned this when we watched it. The overall sound design, the sound effects of this film are really, really good. And it's I don't have any expertise to compare this to crappy sound design, but there's specific scenes in particular when it's little stuff. It ranges from little stuff when Shiki is opening a water bottle and taking a sip from it, I noticed that it sounded really cool. It sounded like someone was opening a water bottle and drinking it. And then the scenes where the girls commit suicide and their bodies plop onto the ground from, and like pop like water balloons essentially. Um, those sounds they stuck with me for a lot of the film, and and the music sets the tone for it a lot of the time. It's almost like borderline a horror anime,
Yeah,
cause
I'd say it is definitely.
yeah, and I mean, there's not a ton of horror anime out there, so I guess if you're someone that's into horror anime, definitely check this out. If you're,
If it's not classified as horror, it would be more thriller, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah,
But there's a lot of horror elements to this.
yeah, um, and so yeah, really interesting story, aesthetically beautiful. The sound's really good. There is no dub of this, so you're gonna have to watch it in sub. Someday maybe, but probably not. I don't know. I'm
I
gonna
mean,
guess it's because it's a series of films.
maybe, but like
It is
I
a
don't know. I think the Japanese voices kind of work better for this movie.
Yes, the sub is still very good. The voice acting
Yeah.
is really good in this.
Although, if you are curious, there is a German dub and a French dub.
Oh, nice.
If you are in that category, but yeah,
Um, and like I like the Japanese voices a lot. I will say this, and maybe it's not necessarily a criticism, but this is, I think this is just something that might indicate that it's not for everyone. It is because it's UFO table. It reminded me of parts of Fate because it's very
yeah,
dialogue heavy. It
yeah.
is a lot of talking. It's a
Well,
lot of people in a room talking about the situation that's about to unfold. You're gonna say something?
yeah, and also like it looks like Fate. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the same character designer worked on both.
Yeah.
But like I agree with you, Miasma, on the fact that there was a lot more talking. But I kind of get that because it's the first movie. But then again, it's not in chronological order.
Yeah.
But the movie is so short that I felt like it went by really fast.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. It's only 51 minutes.
Yeah, you can.
These range in length. Some of them are over an hour. Some of them are like 45 minutes. Um,
Yeah, it's
Go ahead.
it's like the pacing in this movie is also. I feel like the pacing in this movie is really good too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. You get it. I like the beginning of it. I really like the climax at the end, and then everything kind of in between, sort of like, kind of getting to know Shiki like a little bit, but like they purposefully don't tell you a lot.
Yeah,
Um, you know that she has a unique ability that I won't go into, um, but and she's pretty badass. She's got a knife, and you could see that in
yeah,
the image for this video. She's got a badass knife, and she knows how to use it. And
yeah.
her teammate Toko is also really cool, um, and we'll talk about her in some of the other in the movies in the future because I know what's gonna happen because I've seen a couple more of these. Um, but yeah, entertaining story, aesthetically very pleasing. If I had to nitpick, it would be, I mean, it's kind of dialogue heavy at times. I didn't really mind that all that much, but it's just something that you notice when you've like been sitting there watching it, and it's like, you know what? You know what else helped me notice this was because I was watching it with you, and when you're trying to like watch stuff like with people, like I always get like the awkwardness of like, man, I should maybe talk to my buddy, and I was like, but I also need to read what's going on, so I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to miss something, um, because the dialogue in this isn't really throwaway. It's it's pretty important because it's them sort of analyzing what's going on. Like they're trying to solve a mystery here. Um, and yeah, I guess you could just ignore it and then just let them resolve it in front of you at the end because they do. Um, but the conversations and the dialogue in this movie is also like really good. Like I really love the conversation toward the end of the film between Toko and the antagonist of the film. And I'll leave her at that. They have this really interesting dialogue between them as to why the events have unfolded the way they've unfolded. And who would you say was your favorite character so far? There's not many.
So far, there's only like 3 characters in that movie.
Yeah.
I guess Shiki.
Yeah, she does the most things.
She had the most screen time. She did the most badass things. I'm sure that's probably going to change as like when I watch the other movies. But for right now, I guess it's Shiki.
Yeah,
I
to
can't
be
really
fair,
say
your
right now.
choices are Shiki, a guy that's asleep, and a girl that smokes.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, I highly recommend that you guys check out The Garden of Sitters Overlooking View. You can check it out on Crunchyroll, or you can, if you really are feeling risky, you could splurge on the Blu-rays set that just came out on Right Stuff, and it's really expensive. It comes out to like $35 per movie, so have fun with that. I would almost I kind of want to own these because they were really rare for a long time. Like, these were out of print until recently for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it was one of the more expensive anime to own. And I kind of like that, but it's also like, this was my second time watching this first movie, and I don't know if I would ever watch it again. Not that it was bad, but like, I feel like it's just one of those like, oh yeah, I've seen it, it was a good movies.
I feel like if they were split separately, I'd buy the movies separately instead of buying one giant box set.
Same here, but then they'd probably charge less money.
Yeah.
Now they could charge the box set and have one price, and then say, "Oh, hey, yep, here you go," and then you do the math, and it's $35, and you're like, "I'm paying $35 for a movie." But yeah, it's still really good. I don't really have too many negatives. Do you have any nitpicks yourself?
Basically, what you just said.
Nice.
That's really what I can think of.
Great minds think alike on anime.
Maybe there could have been a bit more character interactions with Shiki and Toko, or maybe even the guy that's sleeping all the time. But
Mikia,
Mikia.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
They definitely hint at a potential romantic interest between Mikia and Shiki, and I'd like to see that unfold. I mentioned this when we watched it. It gave me Shakugan no Shana vibe.
Yeah.
Because she's a tsundere with a blade, and he's just a guy.
Also, I'd say that, like, for anime recommendations, if you like this and you want to see something that's not really dialogue heavy and it's more on the action side, go check out Shakugan no Shana.
Yes. Very cool show. 3 seasons. I would argue it's at its strongest in season 1, and then kind of gets worse, but it's still worth watching. Shakugan no Shana, really, really cool.
Yeah.
And me and J-Chip are like some of the only people that talk about that show. This is why we're not popular. But yeah. So
and obviously, I guess I'd recommend the Fate series, but you probably already saw it.
I don't know if I go that far. No, I would. If you're into this, you'll probably be into Fate, I guess. I mean, I like this far better than Fate.
Yeah.
But it does have that kind of level of pretentiousness that Fate has with it, and then it just feels the need to kind of sit and talk about stuff for a long time. But please go check out Garden of Sinners, and go check out J-Chip's show. He has an awesome channel. You can also see us together with our good friend The Art of Anime every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Sugoi Boys live podcast on my channel. J-Chip, thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem.
And we will continue this series because we're going to keep watching these movies, and we'll probably... I was thinking we'd dedicate one video discussion to each film because there's a lot to cover. And even this 50-minute movie, like, look, we just talked for 25 minutes, and I didn't even tell you a lot of what happened in the movie. But
there's a lot that we can talk about, but obviously we don't want to talk about spoilers.
Yeah.
Even though if you're a fan of Sugoi Boys, you know that we don't give a shit about spoilers. But
if you
just
really want to know, if there's something you really want to know, just hit me up on Twitter or something.
Or
I'll just tell you.
Better yet, you can just watch the movie.
Yeah, or watch the movie, or come to the Sugoi Boys and then just ask me there. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll spoil it on Sugoi Boys if you want. How about that?
Yeah.
And then, and then you could do all of them. You could watch the movie, come to Sugoi Boys, and hit me up on Twitter.
If there's something you don't understand about this movie, just come to us. All of us have seen this first movie.
I mean, maybe I don't know if I understand everything. There's probably.
Well, we have Art, so he can help you out.
Somebody's gonna comment. Somebody's gonna be like, "You don't understand the meaning of the red Santa jacket." But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is Miasma with J-Chip signing out.